guys, Irina here and welcome to another free mini course where we will create adorable turtle as you saw in the beginning of this video. This is beginner friendly and follow along tutorial, so prepare your blender and let's get started. Here you can see the default light, default cube and default camera. We are going to select everything and delete it with X. Now I will open my end panel and turn on my screencast keys. So guys, you can see here on the left inner corner the shortcuts that I will be using for this tutorial. The first thing that we are going to do is we are going to import the reference images. So I'm going to press Shift A and add a reference. Now I will press 3 and I will add with the Shift and A, I will add the reference image that is going to be the side. So here we have the side and the front. Now I am going to select the front image, and then I will go here to Object Data Properties where I will choose the depth to back. So when I add for example, the cube, and if I go to X-ray mode, and now I will go to the side and also do the same thing. Now I can see the whole cube. Now I will go here under filters. I will click on it and I will deselect these two arrows so that I will be unable to select them in the 3D viewport. So now once we added a cube, we are going to scale it down, add a subdivision surface modifier to it, increase the number of levels to 2, scale it up, grab it up, scale it even more. Now I will grab it and align it with the shell. Now once I did that, I will go here and change the number of subdivisions to 1, and then I will apply it, the subdivision surface modifier. Now I will add a subdivision surface modifier once more. I will scale this part, and now I will assemble the vertices. So we are going to correctly position them here. Once I go to the side, you can see them here. So I'm going to scale them up. Now looking from the side, we will be ready to delete the faces. So we will delete these faces from here. Let's reshape the vertices. We will set back these and pull these up. Now we will also select these vertices here, so these faces. Let's deselect these two and delete the faces from here as well. Now that we are here, we will go and move these vertices down up to here, and now we will be ready to delete the faces as well from here. Now we will add one more loop cut in the middle of these two so that it will give us more options so that we can move these. Let's move them up here and just align them with the reference image. As well as for the front, we will select and scale in X-axis. So we just selected the two and scaled them in X-axis. So now we have the shell of the turtle. Now what we want to do is we want to select these loops, Shift D, duplicate them, and we will press P to separate the selection, and we will be left with this. We will be left with only this loop, as you can see here. Now what we will do is we will extrude and scale inside. Let's see how it looks like. Let's scale like so, and now once we are done with that, we will add the solidify modifier. We will put it on top of the subdivision. Let's scale it, and now we will grab it in Y-axis. Let's scale it even more. Scale it here, grab it and align it with the reference images. Okay, here. Let's rescale it a little bit more. Let's scale it in X-axis so that it follows the reference image better. Move it down a little bit and rescale it. Let's go back here. Scale it in Z-axis grab it here, and we just want to grab these vertices and align them better with the reference image. As you can see here, we are just moving them and we are not going to change anything. Just to move these vertices so that we get this outer shell part. And we are done with the shell. So you can see here that we have a little bit of a space between these two. So we are just going to select the shell, select this one, and rescale it in x-axis. Now we don't have the same problem. And also here we are just going to move this one in y-axis. Let's see for the sides. Yeah, everything is fine. Now we will shade smooth this one, apply the solidify modifier, and increase the number of subdivision surface modifier to 3. Now that we are done with the shell, we are going to add the body. So we are going to add a subdivision surface modifier on the cube, scale it up all the way, scale it up even more, scale it now in y-axis, but only a little bit so that it goes down, like so. Awesome. Now onto that, we are going to shade smooth it and increase the number of subdivisions to 3. Now we are going to add one more cube, and that is going to be the head. So we are going to be adding a subdivision surface modifier to the head, right click, shade smooth, and we're just going to go in X-ray mode and align it better. So now we are going to just scale it up and grab it in y-axis, right click, shade smooth. Here we have it. Let's move this one down a little bit more, and onto here we are just going to add the subdivision surface modifier and increase it to 3. Here we have our turtle is pretty much done. So we need little feet for our character here. So what we will do is we will add a cube, scale it down, and grab it in x-axis. So we are going to model it right here. I'm going to scale it down, and onto that cube we want to add a subdivision surface modifier and increase the number of subdivisions to 2. Now that we are done, we will scale it down, rotate it, let's extrude it once, scale it inside, extrude it one more time, grab it in the middle of the hand, extrude it one more, rotate, extrude, and for here we want to just scale it inside all the way. Now we are able to move these vertices and align them better with the reference image that we have here. Now I will move these as well inside. Let's add one loop cut here and one loop cut inside here. Shade smooth. This is going to be the little limb of the character. I'm going to move it in x-axis, and here we want to select this center one and turn on proportional editing. You can click here or you can just press O on the keyboard to go inside and outside of the proportional editing. Now once we selected it, we want to grab it in x-axis by scrolling down the wheel on the mouse. We are making sure that so if I press S, and if I, for example, scale it outside, you can see that this circle is only working for these couple of vertices. But if I scroll up, it is working for the whole hand. So that is basically how the proportional editing works. Now we will move it here. Shade smooth. Let's increase the number of subdivisions to 3. Awesome. Now I will move a couple of vertices using the proportional editing, and I will just move them around just to make them a little bit smaller, like so. Now once we are done, we will select let's move the tip here a little bit up as well. like so. Awesome. Now that we are done here, we are just going to press Control A, location, rotation, and scale. So we just applied the location, rotation, and scale. If we didn't do that, if I, for example, added the mirror modifier, you can see that it will not work because the location and rotation and scale for this particular object are deformed, and we need to apply them in order for mirror modifier to work. So here we have the little hands. Also, what I will do is I will select the side, extrude it, and grab it in x-axis. Not all the way, but like this. And also this part here as well. So you can see that it goes inside. Now we will select the hands, Shift D, duplicate them, move them to y-axis. I will now rotate them, grab them here. Now I will move these vertices up, so I will rotate them. These ones, we don't need this edge here anymore, so I will just rescale it, rotate, grab it here, and grab this point here as well. Now let's dissolve the edges, so we are just going to dissolve them, dissolve these two, and let's align it with the reference image. We are going to rescale this one, grab these vertices, and just align them with the reference image. Basically, we are going to only do that, rescale them. Let's grab this one down, and voila. So these are the behinds. So we are going to move them in y-axis. And now you can see them even in the reference images. Awesome. So now we have only this tail left. So we are going to select the back limb. We are going to Shift D, duplicate it. We are going to delete the mirror modifier. Let's separate this by selection. So we are going to press P, separate by selection. And now we are going to be able only to move and change this object. So now I will press 1 and then 9. I will rotate this object by going here, set origin. We want to set the origin to the center of the mass in order for it to rotate in its own position here. So this is the pivot point. Now we are going to grab it here. Let's go to the side, rescaled it, rotate in y-axis, rotate in y-axis by 180 degrees here. And now we will just move it and scale it down. Rescale the top, move it down, so make sure that it follows the reference image. We will now turn off the proportional editing, move a couple of vertices, and voila. Here we have a little tail. You can go back here and grab these two by pressing double G. We move them to the side here and grab them outside as well. So guys, we are done with this part. Now here, once we selected it, we deleted the mirror modifier. So what we want to do is select the back limb, Control A to apply the all transform. So apply the location, rotation, and scale, and we want to add the mirror modifier here. So here we have the character. Now that we are done with the body, we will now focus on the face. So the first thing that we are going to do is the eyes. So we will add a circle. Now here we will change the number of vertices to 16, scale it down, and rotate it in x-axis by 90 degrees. Now that we did that, we will scale it down, grab it, and align it here with the eye. Scale it down even more. Now we are going to try to follow the reference image and create the eye shape. Now that we are done, we will extrude and scale inside, and here we will go to face, grid fill. Now that we are here, we are going to change the span number to 1 and change the offset as well. You can change it like this, or you can just leave it at 0. Now that we are done with that, we will now go outside, move the eye here. Now on the side, we will rotate it. Let's turn off the X-ray mode. We will rotate it in Z-axis. Rotate, grab it here, right click, shade smooth. Let's grab it up, and voila. So I'm going to just rotate it a little bit more and align it better with the turtle's head, like so. Let's see how it looks like. Awesome. Now that we are here, we are going to be adding a subdivision surface modifier to it, and then we are going to add the shrink wrap modifier. We will put the shrink wrap modifier on top of the subdivision. Let's use this eyedropper tool, select the head, check if it is correct, so we can rescale it in x-axis a little bit more, and now we are going to apply it. Now, once we applied it, we want to add a solidify modifier to it and put it on top of the subdivision. Now, let's increase the thickness, like so, and we can change the offset so it goes inside. Awesome. Now, once we are done with that, let's rescale it and grab it in x-axis. Let's see how it looks like. Awesome. Now, once we are here, we are going to apply the thickness, Shift D, duplicate, and create this little circle that he has on the eye, and grab it outside. Let's rotate it, grab it inside a little bit more, and voila. Now that we are done with this, we are going to apply the location, rotation, and scale, and go and add the mirror modifier. Let's add the mirror modifier to this one as well, and voila, here is the turtle's eye. Now we are going to set this mirror modifier on top for both objects, and now using the curve, using the path, we are going to create the lips. So we are going to pull them up. Let's pull them in front of the face. Now using this, we are going to go in edit mode and go here under object data properties for NURBS path. Go down to geometry, scroll down, and here we have the bevel settings. So we are going to change the depth. So let's go to 1, scale them even more, grab these two and grab them up. Now, once they are selected, we are going to press Alt S, scale the sides. Let's select everything, scale it, and add it here. Once we are done, we are going to scale it in Y-axis, rotate, and grab it to the head. Do you want to learn how to use Blender and become a good 3D artist? Check out our online academy, rendercraft.com, with over 80 courses inside. All courses are project-based, and at the end of each course, you will have a project that you can include to your portfolio so you can land your dream job. With a price same as Netflix, it's your choice. Should you watch a movie or create one? The link will be in the description down below, so let's go back to the video. We are going to pull this up here and change this to shader editor. Now we will change also the viewport shading to material preview, or you can just go here to shading, but for me it's easier like this. Now we are going to go here and add a new material. Make sure that this use nodes is on, and also go here in edit preferences and type down here node wrangler. So in order for you to manipulate with the nodes, you need to have this add-on on. So that is it. And now we are going to first of all add the material to the head and the body and everything. So we are going to select this material number 1. We are now going to add here gradient gradient texture, and also let's add color ramp. Now I'm going to select gradient texture, then color ramp, and press F. Also I'm going to select the color ramp and principled BSDF and press F. Now that we have it here, I'm also going to click on gradient texture and press Ctrl T. So let me just turn on the screencast keys. So here we are going to just press Ctrl T, and here we have this mapping on and texture coordinate. Now that we are done here, we are going to change this to quadrical sphere and change the location. So now you can see that we have the dark part up and the white part here. So I'm going to change the dark part or the dark shading. We are going to change it to green, dark green. And this white one we are going to change to yellowish green, like this. Okay, let's change the location a little bit more. Let's change the rotation as well. Let's change this to spherical and see how it, yeah. So we are going to leave it at spherical. Now we are going to select the limbs. We are going to select the front one first of all, add the same material, and once we did that, we are going to go here to material settings and click here on a new material. So we are going to duplicate it. Yeah. So we are going to leave it as this. So the darker color is going to be inside. So as you can see here, also on the head, we have the dark green on the outside of the face. Now we are going to select the back limbs and add the same material that we have for the front. You can see it. And also for the tail, we are going to add the same material as on the head. So we are done with the front, and yeah, for the body also we are going to do the same material as we have for the head. Now let's focus on the shell. So I'm going to shade smooth it, go here to subdivision surface modifier and increase the number of subdivisions to 3. Now we are going to be adding a new material, and onto this material we are going to add Voronoi texture. Now once we added a Voronoi texture, we are going to add the color ramp so that we can manipulate with the colors. I'm going to select Voronoi texture and color ramp and press F, and also color ramp and principled BSDF and press F. So color to color, distance to factor, and like that. So I'm going to change this F1 to distance to edge, and you can see here now the preview of how it's going to look like. So I'm going to change the scale to 280. You can see here how it looks like. And now we are going to change the color. So we are going to only change the white one to reddish, something in between the red and the green and the orange. For this one, we are going to use the white material, right click, shade smooth. And for this one to have a little bit more depth, we are going to add a bump node, and we are going to connect the distance with the bump. So we are going to press F, and we are not going to attach it to strength, but we are going to attach it to height. So it is going to create some depth to the inside. As you can see here, we are going to now change the strength. So we don't want it to be this. So let's change it to 0.5. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah. So we are going to decrease it a little bit more, and voila. So for the eyes, we are going to create new material that is going to be black, and for this part here, we are going to add the white material. For the lips, we are going to get rid of this material and add a new material, or we could have just went here and add the black material. So guys, we are done with the materials and with the texture. We are now ready to delete the empties, and now we will be ready to set our scene. That we are done with materials, we are going to create now the ending scene. So the first thing that we are going to add is the plane. I'm going to move it down here and scale it up. Now that I've scaled it up, I'm going to pull it a little bit more up so you can see that the elbows of the character are on it. Now we are going to select the back, go to edit mode and extrude it up in Z axis. Once we are done with that, we are going to select these two vertices and press Control B or Command B if you're working on Mac. Increase the number of subdivisions by scrolling up with your mouse wheel. Shade smooth and scale it in Y axis. I'm going to scale it a bit up more. Now we are going to, let's scale it. And now we are going to add some material to the backdrop. So this one. Now we are going to create a little like cactus-like little plant by adding the cube, adding the subdivision surface onto it. Now we are going to select the top, extrude it up in Z axis, extrude it one more, and using proportional editing, we are going to scale it up, like so. I'm going to move it inside, shade smooth, scale it even more so that it is smaller. Now that we have it here, I'm going to increase the number of subdivisions to 3 and add material. So let's go with dark green and let's increase the roughness. Once we are done with that, we are now going to position the lights. So we are going to be adding a point light right here where the cactus, where the plant is. So we are going to increase the power by 50. And also we are going to change the color to yellowish, like this. I'm going to select the two of them and move them a little bit closer to the character. Let's now grab this one down. Once we are done with this, let's change the render engine to cycles and see how it's going to look like. Awesome. Now we are going to be adding a area light. I'm going to grab it up and scale it. Onto this light, we are going to increase the power to 1000. Let's press 7 and position it right here. I'm going to rotate it so it points to the turtle. Let's rotate. Let's now press 7 and add one more light and decrease the power to 500. Let's now see how it looks like. Okay, now we are going to be adding the camera. I'm going to grab it in Y axis so it goes out here. I'm going to press 0 with Shift and the key right above the tab key. I'm going to move the camera using the S, D, A, and W on the keyboard. Also, we are going to change the render settings. So on the bottom of the render settings, we have color management. We are going to scroll down and here under look, we are going to change it to high contrast. Check the denoise. So we want the denoise. We set everything here. So we change the render engine to cycles. Now we are going to go under output properties and set the file where you want this file to be rendered in. And yeah. 6 of 7 species of sea turtles around the world are threatened or endangered. That was the inspiration for this tutorial to show how sea turtles are cute and innocent creatures. We can help save their innocent lives by keeping our oceans and seas clean of plastic waste and chemicals. That was it for this tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!